Welcome to Radio Amenti, embracing the eternal now, where minds and timelines merge, inspiring synchronicity, awakening potential, and making sense of change.
Hello, is anybody out there? Do you remember me? Well, I mean, if you're here right now, obviously you do. Hi, it's been a while, almost 3 years to be exact, which I cannot believe that I allowed so much time to pass since the launch of this project. But life tends to life and time tends to time and people will people. And I guess the last 3 years, I've spent a lot of time lifing through time and peopling as a person. Literally, in the 3 years that it's been since I have uploaded an episode, I have literally created another person. And I think I've become even more of a person, if that even makes sense. But we'll get into it. Meanwhile, I wanted to begin this episode to kind of bring it full circle because the last episode that I did back in November 2021, I interviewed my friend Marcella Kroll, who is an amazing artist, creative, deck creator, whose work I just not only admire but really connect with. Her deck, the Dreamer's Tarot, was published by Sterling Ethos, and it's an incredible, beautiful tarot deck with Marcella's unique take on the major and minor arcana. So before I started recording this, I actually pulled one single card from her deck to get a theme for relaunching what this next iteration of Radio Amenti will be like and what to kind of go deeper into. And the card that I pulled is the World. So the World in tarot. In Marcella's book, what I really love is that without getting into like any word salad or going too far off the deep end, which I actually as an author tend to do in my own explorations, Marcella really gets to the heart of the point of the power of the cards. And in her booklet, the way that she describes the world is success, completion, accomplishment, travel, and expansion. And in her take of the card, we see the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, and a hand with the world in the palm. So it signifies completing a cycle, right? Accomplishment, and also just understanding the world in a new way. We see the Fool begin the journey into understanding the way of the world. They begin at 0 and gets to 21. So these 22 cards with, because it starts at 0, there's the extra one. They show you how to understand your world through the different archetypes and experiences, which ultimately are the blueprint of being human. So in the last 3 years, I think, really since I launched this project, since I came into the world, I've been trying to really understand what it means to be human, and very often throwing myself into things as the Fool, the empty space to surf through mind, and through direct experience, up, down, in, out, all around there and back again, I've come out of it with new insight and perspective. I'd say this project started before the pandemic, and so much, I think, in the way that we are seeing the world now has changed. There was a before and after of 9/11, right? Before and what was the after. Pandemic is what was the before and what is the after. Nothing has remained the same, and it will only continue to advance at a crazy rate. And I think one of the more challenging things it's been for me as someone that has explored realms of spirit and ineffable realities as long as I can remember, the post-pandemic convergence of conspiracy and spirituality, and it's kind of happened in the New Age, or as I call it now, the New Age, like sewage movement, is that this beautiful path that really, from an ancient perspective, has found its way through different hearts and minds, through this kind of synchronistic dharma to help understand yourself so that you can understand others on a greater way and relate to others in a greater way, became this really kind of like navel-gazing, self-serving, me identity for some reason that went into overdrive after the pandemic. I've been really candid here in a lot of my solo cast episodes about, my own origin points of having a great spiritual awakening after experimenting with psychedelics and circling around up and down the holy mountain, from everything from ayahuasca to psilocybin to 5-MeO-DMT. Combo is not a psychedelic, but it's a purgative that, definitely takes you to another plane. But in all of those experiences, I kept chasing something that eventually I got slapped with reality that there shouldn't be a medium to chase. It should be a medium to give presence. So, I actually I did ayahuasca once over a year ago. And before that, it had been 3 years. And, I stopped drinking 4 years ago. And there's something to be said in this world of mass confusion and chaos of finding sobriety and grounding amidst it all, to just keep your feet on the ground a little bit. I think that's been a part of my own dharma the last 3 years of learning to ground down deeper, really refine what it is that I want to say or put out into the world, and to stay strong with my voice, and to know, dear listener, that whatever we explore here in new episodes and past episodes, everything is approached from this beginner's mind with nuanced perspective, that truth is nebulous and objective truth likely doesn't even exist. So careful what you cling to, because in the clinging, it only creates more suffering. And, life is suffering, but why make ourselves suffer more by clinging to certainty? Anyway, that's a big, long ramble. So, without getting into even more so what I've gone through over the last 3 years, having a beautiful baby who is now going to be, or now is, 2.5 years old, complete light of my life. I'll do an episode probably on that whole experience and motherhood and what that's been like, and being married and living in Mexico. There's just so much. How can I even explain everything that's happened in the last few years other than to say it's been a lot. I'm happy to be back. And a big push of what got me here actually is because a dear friend of mine, Jim Perry, who is the host of a podcast called Euphemet, he and Devin Person, actually, we all did an episode together here called the XXX Files, one of my favorites. Jim is just such a bright light in this space. And again, like one that can explore the invisible, ineffable, mysterious, and paranormal with his feet on the ground. We're kind of like Mulder and Mulder when we pair up together. But he invited me to participate in an event that's happening actually this Tuesday, September 3rd in Los Angeles for a podcasting company called Spectrevision, which Elijah Wood is the founder of. So I am actually recording this from Los Angeles because Jim invited me to participate in this event discussing psychedelics and the paranormal. And it was a big push for me to just get my shit together and stop procrastinating and reinvigorate the podcast and get episodes rolling again. So thank you to Jim. Thank you to Spectrevision. Thank you to Elijah Wood for creating this, because this is very, very interesting, kind of full circle, weird moment. And on top of everything else that's happening at the Philosophical Research Center, which Manly P. Hall has been an integral part of my journey. One of the first viral videos I ever created was based off of a Manly P. Hall talk, edited together with the music from Baz Luhrmann's Wear Sunscreen, one of my favorite songs. That's what inspired me to get back. And in the coming episodes, what you can expect, I'm going to be doing a lot more interviews, more conversation-based podcasts like I had done in the past with some of the episodes with Richie Brown, more solo cast episodes, and something I've wanted to do for a while. And because I'm a crazy person with a million ideas, instead of doing it as its own podcast name, I'll be doing it within Radio Amenti, and the series within the series will be called the Esoteric Encyclopedia. If you know me from my platform Evolve and Ascend, when I started that blog back in 2013, I built out an esoteric encyclopedia where from A to Z, going through different bits of esoterica from the realm. So here, I'd like to do these mini episodes exploring everything from angels and demons to ziggurats and the zeitgeist. But I'll be mapping out the episodes. So, it's going to be dynamic, never boring, always interesting, and still general themes of psychedelia, esoterica, creativity, imagination, art, alchemy, all of those things, and really what it means to be human. Some episodes I might go in a little deeper into some of the projects that I've done in the last 3 years, which I never talked about, including the Artist Decoded Tarot, which came out this year, which I put out with my friend Yoshino, another former guest of the podcast, host of Artist Decoded Podcast, incredible photographer, artist, creative human being. I debated whether or not I'd talk about the Modern Nirvana Oracle deck, but I think enough time has lapsed to talk about the meta lesson of that deck and how grateful I am for Natalie Miller being the beautiful friend, collaborator, and artist that she is. She and I actually have another deck coming out in 2025, which is literally a dream come true, called the Be Not Afraid Oracle. When Artist Decoded Tarot came out, a lot of folks were surprised. It's like a departure from my normal aesthetic, but a big piece of feedback I had is, well, are Jen and Natalie working together, or what happened? And yes, everything is great. Natalie is one of my best friends, and as a creative person, sometimes it's interesting to explore different things through one-offs, and AD Tarot was a one-off that was a great lesson, and I'm proud of, even though it's different than my normal world of work. So Be Not Afraid Oracle comes out in 2025 with Natalie, and that explores biblically accurate angels and the celestial hierarchy. And probably, I said this on social media, and I don't mean to be biased, but honestly, like one of my favorite, if not my favorite project that I've ever worked on, and I can't believe that it's going to be real soon. I also have a deck coming out in 2026, which I can't announce yet. I will announce soon. But I'm very excited to share that. So, I've been busy these last 3 years of not podcasting. I just don't know how I let so much time go by. And I appreciate those who have stuck with this, listened to old episodes. I am so shocked when I still see some of the stats that y'all are tuning in, even though it's been a minute. So yeah, just wanted to give you a brief check-in to say, hey, I'm still here. There's a lot to come. And stay tuned, because this is just the first of many new episodes that will be coming out on a hopefully weekly, if not bi-weekly basis in the coming weeks. And if there's anything in particular or any guests that you would love to hear on the show, you can reach out to me on social media. I'm very active on Instagram at Jennifer Sodini. And meanwhile, like, subscribe, and all the things for Radio Amenti so you can be updated when the bigger episodes come out. And if you're in Los Angeles on Tuesday, September 3rd, you can come to our Spectrevision event and talk about psychedelics and the paranormal with some really, really interesting characters. And yeah, I hope to see you there. Anyhow, thank you all for being. I know this was quick, but yeah, we'll get more into it soon. Happy day, and onward and upward.